Yeah, so here we go again. I'm in the car, surprise. Well, actually, it may be a surprise. I haven't been for the last few times talking to myself. Been shopping, spent €40 and 50 cents. Um, got today's drink of choice, which I guess I'll interpret as C plus. The reason I got it is because it's the signal colour, and it stood out in the fridge. So I guess that's branding and marketing at its finest. Um, I kind of want to talk about my mindset and so on. Um, I feel I have to deliver the volume just because it was clearly wished for. Um, with my paper, that is, with my thesis. The problem is I can't do all three. Um, Short time frame, good quality of work, and high volume of work. Um, I am feeling like somewhat of an imposter, like a fraud to some degree. Because at the end of the day, what I'm doing, I believe everyone would be able to do once they build their Lexus to slightest extent of covering film. Um, so that's slightly concerning, I guess. Um, I've been spending the shortest day recently was day before yesterday or so, was only a 6 hour day of writing. Besides that, I've been spending 8 to 10 hours a day writing, which is bad for my mental health, I can tell. But in the end of the day, it's a future in having more of a future, more of a stable future, economically and or potentially educationally, by getting a master's degree late in life, or having the option of getting a master's degree late in life. And it's kind of the need of wanting to finish something one have started. So I guess that's what I'm trying to do. I have a slight concern that in the end of the day I'll hand it in and they'll say, oh, you didn't have to do a full 40 pages, even though they previously stated that I did. I also have a slight concern of it not being 40 pages and the optimum, but 30, just because a former classmate who was supposed to have graduated asked me for some questions for equipment earlier. I answered and they respond, oh, you only need 30 pages, but I highly suspect that was just their supervisor being somewhat flexible. I have the slight concern of being mistaken on the 40 pages though. Good news is, with the current structure I have the page buffer of my attachment, which is just a shot by shot breakdown of title sequences of James Bond films. And because it is an attachment, I don't think they'd complain if I were to vary the font size to be smaller. So, you know, something I still got to cover. Don't taste like much, certainly not worth the money in my book, but yeah, they're sweet. Uh, Considering it was €6 a litre, I'm not getting any more again. So, yay. 6 times the price of milk. I have taken a small detour because I prefer one shop over others. It's the same shop I was in last time I talked to myself here in the car. Hello there. By the way, I'm Ben. This is my therapy substitute. I'm sure you're no longer watching if you aren't interested. But yeah, might as well put that at the beginnings of these. I guess I should, to clarify what the framing of this is. I did go to that shop and then I took another detour to come here just because this place have a good view. I guess I might as well try and show you. Have a good view. There's a castle there and so on. It's just above Klingmünsterpfalz. The castle is Burg Landeck. Been here a lot of times in the past, just down the road where I'm not going now because I'm not photographing, but theoretically with photographing it was legal to go there, and if I'm not doing something that required the location, it's not legal. That's a stretching of the law. I'll be fully blatant with that, but one I certainly did not mind, and no one else seemed to mind either. So, I mean, carrying a heavy water jug as ballast for your tripod so you can do your time lapses and so on is something that's a pain to do by foot. particularly if you don't live around the corner, which I guess in the grand scheme of things I lived around the corner, just over a hill by here, but realistically by road it's like 10k away where I lived at that time, so I was not going to carry a 22 kilo water jug. Surprise. With the writing, I may have to actually cut it short and not do all of the Daniel Craig era James Bond title sequences, but that's fine. For the sake of the scope of this work, blah blah blah, can always write a sentence like that. I haven't even written as to why I've chosen the case. I'm not concerned for that because I'm confident I'll find a reason. I have reasons. I'm confident one of my reasons will be provable using creditable sources, let's say it that way. But it's kind of torturous for me doing this writing. It's just pure pain. Standing there, pacing around. I haven't been sitting down while writing, I've mostly been standing, so I can pace. It's just, waiting to get the pages done. Yay, another page done. Time to have a cookie, allow myself a cookie or so, just to gamify it all. Because I don't want to be writing these pages, no one's going to be reading them. Realistically, if it were lorem ipsum, a placeholder text commonly used in design, odds are only 1 or 2 people would ever notice. And that is the call of the void in this situation, making it lorem ipsum or so. But I can't line that with my ethics, which are above the law, at least for governing my behaviour. So that's something I'll have to sort out, I guess. Because I got to do the writing. I'm not concerned for managing it. Yesterday I'd done another 3 or 4 pages. Today I've got an early start on with my current circadian rhythm, which means it's only past 2 p.m. now. It's 8 past 2 in the p.m. at this time, and I'll be writing within the hour, so, odds are by 3 p.m. I'll be writing. And I won't stop till after midnight, so that's not healthy for work-life balance and all. It's not healthy in any way, size, shape or form, particularly as I smoke, as I think, and I allow myself snacks for having completed shots and or pages. It's just something one I've got to get over with the promise of reward for oneself later in life, assuming one lives so long. I've no reason to believe I should not live till beyond a thesis. Then again, the reward won't be immediate. It'll be if I ever want a master's degree, which is a long ways down the road. Most certainly not happening this decade, This decade. But it's just, I'm not enjoying myself. No one's going to be reading it seriously. I reckon 2 or 3 people may read it diagonally, which is why I can't get away with lorem ipsum. Well, one person will read it because I'll pay them to proofread it. A good friend of mine, an English teacher, who have agreed to proofread it for going self-employed rate. Assuming I should be able to afford them, I believe they should be quick enough that I can afford them, because I'll not be paying by volume, I'll be paying by time. They did respond to this saying, in the past your proofreading didn't need much correcting, which I'll take as a serious compliment, because that means something to me. I mean, their word in regards to use of the English language means a lot to me. And that's a really good compliment in my book. Someone whom you respect in the use of a language, saying, oh yeah, you aren't far from good. I mean, I know I'm not horrendous, which is why I'm writing in English in the first place. I know I'm better at English than my examiners, most likely. So that's the reason for that. But if I'm at 80% of language capability in the English language, and my examiners are 70, that's still true. And I reckon I'm around 80%. Not in terms of a bell curve distribution, but in terms of having mastered the language, which admittedly no one ever does. But still, 80% is far from great. At least I can speak English without a crass dialect, which I cannot say for German. Particularly when I'm in this area, I tend to fall into dialect quite quickly. This area of Germany have a rather strong dialect. People here understand it, so I don't mind. But when I get back to the town I now live in, the city I now live in, Berlin, people will have a couple of hard days getting to understand me. Just from my speech, because I've been around here for a couple of weeks. Won't have gotten out the house much, but I will have some. I mean, today I did. It's just kind of odd, I guess, but that's the way it is, Ooh, and a Porsche driving by with a reg plate from approximately 50k down the road. They are not here legally. Oh, whoa, whoa. It's not like anyone cares, though. The odd thing is I found myself speeding on my way here. In the 70 limit, I did do 60... No, in the 50 limit, I did do 65. In the 70 limit, I've done 83, according to GPS. Which is a bit quick, but I guess I know the roads better. I don't know. Oddly enough, I am in misalignment with the rules in this case. And it's just, I guess, because it's a cultural norm here. I wouldn't want to be the hindrance to traffic flow I had in front of me earlier. That being in a 100 kph downhill speed limit, they started off doing 80 kph, and by the time I overtook them, they'd slowed down to 60 kph, going downhill. I don't know how you lose speed going down a hill, because even if you were in neutral, you'd be accelerating. If you're in fourth gear, you'd probably accelerate. If you're in third gear, you might end up zero, or you'll wreck your engine by over revving. I guess that's just how it works, It's a fairly steep hill, and overtaking there went risky, for I could see traffic very well. I know the stretch of road, and it's one of the few bits of road around here one can safely overtake. So I've managed to overtake them, but in the end of the day, what did it gain me? Oh yeah, it gained me not having to sit up someone's arse who slows down going downhill. Yay. Beside that, it didn't gain me nothing. I guess that's just some of the calm I would like to have that I have managed to at times, but at other times I do not manage to. Apparently, currently I do not, Another thing I want to talk about is the aspect of comparison is the end of all joy, because I've said it several times. I actually think comparison leads to both joy and lack thereof, because in the end of the day, if you compare yourselves, at least if I compare myself, it might be different for others, I tend to see how good the situation I'm in is. I mean, I don't got to worry about a roof over my head for now. Don't got to worry about food, There's so many people with so many more worries than me, even who are economically more good off. For life is not pure economic existence. Life goes beyond that. And in some ways, I guess one can grow from comparison as well. That is, unless one sees the others and is dragged down by it, wanting to help them, which I do get a lot, which is the bad aspect of comparison, I guess. By the way, if you're still here, which I actually deem rather unlikely, because recently no one have been watching these for all that long, thank you very much for watching. It truly means the world to me. I do still gotta continue writing and so on. I will. But before I leave before I leave this region of the country, I have a couple of things I've got a load to take up. For example, the Portstudio 464, my dad's, and the master tapes to that studio. to that recorder. It's not a studio, it's a studio, but it's a recorder. 4-track tape recorder. I believe it's 8mm tape. Yeah, seem right. To give to a friend so they can digitize their tapes and our tapes, or my dad's tapes. And I'm up for selling it to them after, and if my sister is too, I guess we'll be selling that, It's ridding of some of the estate, I guess is what one might call it. And the end of the day, long term is in the spirit, because we aren't looking to open a museum, though I believe we have enough stuff. A museum would need visitors, and my dad was famous, but not many people knew it, so not many people would be visitors. My smoking behaviour have actually gone back to just below my pre-lowering median. So it's not gone back to the original median of 21 odd. It's below that, but it's not much below. It's like 20 some odd. 20 and odd. I'm not happy about it, but then again, I'm making so many compromises as to my quality of life at this time with this writing that I believe my tobacco consumption can go on the back burner in regards to controlling. Monitoring is obviously still happening. I've still got my cigarette button. I believe I'm going on 1,300 days or so, which, is a while. That having been said, smoking kills. Do not smoke. Don't start. It's not worth. It only costs you money and health. I feel oddly grown up driving around here just because there's so many places I know around here. Oh, that person lived there. Oh, that person lived there. Oh, that person used to live there. It's kind of odd, but I guess that's what one's home turf is. I don't know. This is my home turf. I mean, I've been on just about every road around here, and that several times, so it is my home turf. And it's nice speaking dialect with the people as well, because I know they'll understand me, and they do, and they know I'll understand them, which is something I do not have in big city life. Beside when very rarely someone from around this region, usually not precisely this region, come, and I then fall into dialect talking with them. Another semi-irregular at the T-joint originate from a town within an hour's drive from here. We fall into a mellowed version of dialect when we talk, just for funsies, I believe they go by occupation of author. I'm not sure though. Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works. I do actually aspire to continue writing once I've got my degree, just for funsies. Academically, nonetheless, those are never going to be published or so, just for my own passing of time. Because one thing I've noticed is the general trend of a parallel subgroup of society. Reason I noticed it very recently is because I watched Supercell when I couldn't sleep on Netflix, I believe it was. Maybe it was Amazon. Just a London mini-series, 8 episodes. I guess that qualifies for mini-series. In regards to people developing superpowers, that's a common trope. I mean, the Divergent series, etc. There's endless of these, and oddly enough, it's kind of very similar to being autistic. Difference is I can't fly and I don't have telekinetics, but on some levels I am built different. And I was saying this ironically, unironically. For in the first place, it was just for the joke's worth, but now I truly believe it. I am just built different. I can't say it with a straight face though, so I guess that shows how serious I am about it. I am serious, but not that serious. I'm just built different. For I actually am. I'm neurologically wired different. At least that's, to my understanding, the best explanation we have at this time for neurodivergence. I think they'll call this one that. I'm just thumbnail. Actually, thumbnail. Let's not have the cigarette in the frame for thumbnail. There we go. There we go. That's a thumbnail. I'm just built different. Many people are built different. Everyone is built different. Oh well, you know. I'm built more different. I've actually been sleeping better for the past couple of nights just because I've been right until I can't no more. I'm riding till I can't no more. Haha. Oh, pop culture references, they're lovely. And I guess that's the way to go. I'm not stopping at midnight or so. I did put a floodlight out on my Praktikabel where I'm writing, pointed upward at the top, so I have a blue sky while I'm writing. Well, sky, haha. And that works, so it keep me up for longer. At night is less noise pollution and so on. Yesterday there was a beautiful night sky. Don't have any cameras with me, so I tried taking a phone camera picture, and the phone camera did not do justice. Surprise. For there is light pollution at my mother's, it's just less than I have at mine, I guess. Yeah, funny how that works. So I'm going to get back to writing, get it over with. Thank you very much for sticking around watching these. I hope you get over with what you have to get over with. Stay safe, I'll see you around. Cheerio.